internet. Hello, you lovelies, and welcome back to Koi Cast. This is our first show of 2023. I am Koi Jandro. You are lovely. I'm a Bostonian who loves pop culture, comic books, people, taking well-deserved time off, long walks on the beach, pina coladas, talks and walks in the rain, and mostly you. And I hope you are well, just generally. I hope you're doing good. I am with the ever lovely, ever charismatic, ever occasionally cynical, ever ready to start the year with two dogs, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Hi, everybody, and Happy New Year. And thanks to everybody who didn't blow us up and be like, hey, where the hell is the show?
Yeah, zero.
Which I don't know, is that a good thing? Does it mean they're kind, or does it mean that nobody cares?
I'm just not invested. No, I love how many people reached out right before the break saying we deserved it, and then how few kickback. That shows that they're loving.
Listen, we're not going to get into the whole thing, because this is not that kind of program.
We don't bitch on this show, except sometimes.
I'm going to give cliff notes here. Koi got a major ear infection that led to other sort of problems. Ended up not being able to travel for the holiday. The holiday ended up getting postponed for him. I, with my intent of taking the 3 weeks at the end of the year off, the first day of my vacation came down with a terrible flu, potentially whatever that thing was. What's it called? RSV.
Yep.
Went going around 104 fever. I sweat through multiple layers of clothing and
multi-week
sheets,
sickness,
and it kept coming back for more. So I only became coherent at Christmas. So I only had 1 week that was not the relaxing nonsense that it was supposed to be, because work ended up rearing its ugly head. So I needed to take the first week of the year off. Koi needed to take the second week off, because that's when he could. Well, and that's when you had your holiday, your delayed holiday. But so it was.
We do-si-doed. It just wasn't an option.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was
and we
been
both,
a crazy month.
We didn't realize the other. Like I plotted and he plotted, and then it was like, oh wait, this exactly doesn't work.
Yeah. So
we're back.
We're here now. We're excited. We've got some changes coming down the pike. For Koi Cast,
2023, we got some schemes.
But listen, you're gonna have to just keep listening to the show to figure out what all that shit's about. Because today.
Big important day.
Is a day that we have been looking forward to for months. I get excited about this around September.
Yeah, same. And I haven't pressed the button yet. I literally have had Letterboxd in my hand for many reviews.
Same.
Haven't pressed 2022 on stats.
Same.
We're gonna in real time experience together.
So this is gonna just be a you're welcome.
It's just for us, really.
To those of you who also are nerds and love this, and an apology to those of you who go, fuck, they're going to do a Letterboxd
Come back next week, because it's all this is going to be.
They're going to do another Letterboxd stat episode. They're going to yell names of celebrities at each other for an hour.
That's what Hollywood is, all right?
God
That's literally what this town is for.
The difference is that when Koi does it, he's going to tell you a story about how he met them, name dropper.
I generally love them. I got to give them hugs. If I could hug these stats, I would.
All right, but before we get into the stats, a couple little pieces of business. One, happy belated birthday to a friend of the pod, Gilbert Short.
Gilbert Short!
Whose birthday was last week, I believe, or the beginning of this week, depending on how time works.
Who knows?
I left a little note to remind myself.
Aw, that's adorable.
On our monitor, it's a little post-it that says, HBD Gil.
Oh, I love that very much. Oh, and speaking of, I got a couple Christmas presents from Koi Casters, and I just wanted to say thank you guys very much that I forgot to take down that wish list for my birthday, which I guess defeats the, I guess if people want to buy things, they can. Yeah. But my brain was I felt guilt, and I was like, that's the dumbest reaction to a gift ever. But you guys are the best, because I didn't even intend to we didn't even mention it. That was the act of selflessness was so kind. Much appreciated.
So thanks for that, and happy birthday to Gil. And it is the 16th as the time of recording, so it's the 18th rather when this comes out. Late in the month, but it's still technically the first episode of the month.
It is.
So although they will only be aware of their recognition for 2 weeks,
yep,
they will still be the gift horse of the month for the entire month, the person that we name late in the episode. So stick around, because at the end of the episode, we are going to name the January official unpunchable gift horse of the month, the first of the year.
Let's hope they didn't get punched already. What if they had a rough New Year's?
Well, listen,
That's not on us. We couldn't do it.
Yeah, and to be quite frankly, just because we say that they're unpunchable
doesn't mean that we have any power over them.
It's not like we don't impose some sort of magical veil over
If you ever get punched while you're the gift horse, you call us. You leave us a voicemail. You let us know if that happened at any point. In fact, any point in the year, you let us know.
I do like the idea of like a like Duger 13 being like in a bar as somebody just smashes him in the face and he goes, but I'm the unpunchable gift horse.
And then they're like, what?
Smash.
And then they're a Koicast fan and then there's peace and love and harmony.
Smash. Oh, you think that's how it's going to go?
I hope so.
I think it's going to go, the fuck you talking about?
No,
Smash.
No, we're going to get this podcast Joe Rogan big, but with less hate.
He thinks he's a horse. Go get him, guys.
What is he talking about punching gift horses anyway? I don't even understand that reference.
What's a gift? You're supposed to not look a gift horse, you fucking idiot.
I don't understand dental school for horses. But the point is, today's the stats episode.
All right.
Now, if you've never heard of this show, one, weird choice jumping in now, but I appreciate you. Two, this is not the normal flow of show, but if you do know this is when Jake and I use all of our movie nerdery and use the incredible Letterboxd app.
Not a
sponsor, but can be. And we kind of break down our entire year watching movies. And if you want to know what we thought of each of these movies, there is a patron pod wherein we literally review the things of that week.
I just realized, this will be the first complete year, I think, where not only do we have our Letterboxd stats game or our Letterboxd stats episode, but essentially everything we watched should
you can guide yourself
have been searchable.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you can literally cross-reference any of these.
That's so funny.
Or almost all of these.
Or you could just be like, oh yeah, I can go look back at their respective diaries.
Yeah.
And then I can go to be like, well, let me go to the Patreon.
Let me go to April.
Search. Or not even that. You don't have to do that.
Type the title.
You just have to type the title, find the tag for it, and then immediately go and see us chat about it.
So if you want to check out the Patreon pod, we talk about all the art we've consumed the weeks prior, TV and film, and we basically give reviews extensively over on that pod. So check that out. We've got a couple hundred, there's over 100 episodes, and there's an average of 3 reviews each, so 6, so over 600 things reviewed. We get after it over the Patreon pod.
And I'm going to say well over, because there are a few episodes where it's like 10, 12, 30.
I'd say it's approaching 1,000 reviews.
Wow.
Because if it's 120 episodes,
right,
times 6, that's 740 right there.
Yep.
Bananas.
I mean, let's see how many exactly. I think there's
you got tags.
126. Oh, no. I'm trying to there's 126 episodes.
So 126 times 6 is 26 times 6 is
5,
150 plus 6, 156 plus 600. So 656?
Minimum.
At bare, it's probably close to 1,000.
Bananagrams. All right.
We love movies.
So I got Letterboxd open. Where do you want to start?
All right.
Look at that. 2022 year in review.
Okay, let's
First
just
off,
go.
The top. Yeah.
Let's go. Top. Yeah. How many diary?
131.
165. We were closer this year.
Were we? No, I thought we were we?
Last year, I think it was like 270,
like
220.
100
yeah, it was something crazy because I just watch movies every Sunday.
So 30 more.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Considering how much television I watch that you don't, like
you watch way more TV and don't log it.
Unscripted comedy television, the 100 of hours that I have watched stuff like Countdown and Taskmaster and
you consumed way more this year.
All of Colbert's show, and Seth Meyers, So I feel like that's fair.
Reviews,
same, because I review everything.
6.
I try to review everything, even if it's just like,
haha, period.
Or just like, he was dumb. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I tend to, I know, the reviews.
They're funny. I enjoy
but
yours. They're like tweet length.
They're also, yes, I try to make them all tweet length, but they're also 20% for other people, 80% for me.
I mean, just like this episode of the show.
Because there are so many movies that sometimes you go like, did I see this movie? And you look at the movie and you go, I know I watched it, but I don't really remember it.
Fair.
And now I have a little diary of the past few years of being like, oh, I can remember exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Because it's right there. I wrote it for myself.
Lists.
0. I made no new lists this year.
I had 10. Big list here.
That's because you are always making dumb lists.
I'm a big list guy.
You're like, this is the order of the top 20.
Some of us write reviews, some of us write lists.
Movies with actors named Bob in them.
I do love a good Bob. Damn it, I want to make a Bob list.
47 likes.
Do with that. 1. 1 like, folks.
And I'm supposed to be the fucking cynic? Get the fuck out of here.
I just don't. I think a 5-star or a 4.5-star shows a like without the actual like button. Comments.
I only have 6. People don't really engage.
I got 2.
Oh, all right. But engage more with me than they do
because you write reviews.
Oh, wait. Oh, maybe that's comments you left.
I think I left 2, and they were both on yours.
Got it. Okay, so that's comments you left. Now
about Banshees.
Probably, yeah. and then hours watched. Let me take a guess.
Okay.
Since you have roughly 30 more movies than me,
Okay.
I am going to say that you have 300.1 or 300.4 movie hours.
344.9. I do shows.
Oh, you fucking cheat. That's right.
I got 340.
Because I have 240, and I was like, all right, if roughly a movie's 2 hours, give or take.
No,
90.
345 total. 344.9. Because I log shows.
Got
so
it.
that's hundreds of hours.
Yeah, you have 100 more hours than I do.
Wow. But
I
you've
have
watched at least 300 more hours of TV than me.
But it's just interesting in the app, like, because I don't cheat and log television
Well,
programs.
I like TV. All right.
Highest rated of the year.
Do you want to do the top 8?
Yeah, that's all that shows.
That's what I'm saying.
in
You want
that
to just go
order
through
for
it?
now. Yeah.
Number 1, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep, I did. I was hoping to get it done before the new year. Did not get to see it yet.
I'm bummed.
Still for next year.
Actually, give me your number 1. Let's go back and forth.
Glass Onion.
Oh,
But it's tied.
Okay.
With number 2 position.
My 2 through 8 are tied.
Okay, well wait. So if your 1 isn't tied, then let me do my tie as well, because that's great. So technically, the 2 best movies of the year, in my opinion, that were both given 4.5 stars. 2 movies that we have not spoken about as of recording, but as of release will have been on what we're going to record soon, which is the Patchen Only Pod.
Tune in.
Glass Onion and Matilda the Musical.
Ooh.
Both
I haven't seen
4.5. Oh my fucking God. Both outstanding. Loved them both so much. Those are the best 2 of the year for me.
My number 1 is a rare 5-star film, which is obviously Everything Everywhere All at Once. My next, I'm not going to list all of them, but all of these next ones are 4.5. So
yeah, well, the list. What are they? Because are you seeing the same thing I'm where it only shows you 8?
I only got 8, but I figured we'd go 1.
Oh
two,
no, let's
two,
just
three.
do the ties.
Okay. Well, 2 through 8 are tied.
Yeah, do them all.
Tied with 4.5 stars. The Batman, Top Gun Maverick, Banshees of Inisherin, Wakanda Forever, Werewolf by Night, Jackass Forever, Moon Age Daydream. A very different array of films.
We don't have a single one in common.
And those are all 4-star for you, right? Because you're.
Yep. You didn't
think any of those films were 4-star.
I didn't see a lot of them.
Oh, that's fair. That's different.
I did see some of them, and then they were not 4 stars.
Okay, these are all 4.5 for me, but I didn't expect you to
also,
like
though, here's the thing, is Letterboxd is only showing us the top 8. There's a good possibility that 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 are also 4 stars.
Sure.
What happens is I think it ranges it by popularity on top of.
Because it has to coordinate in some way.
Unless it also might not be popularity. It might be the order you watch. No, it's not the order.
So you didn't give any of these films 4.5 stars? Because these are.
I might have, maybe, but they're not in my top 8 here.
But now you're on to 4-star.
Yes.
Those are all 4.5 for me.
I know.
So you didn't give a single one of the. Wow, we disagreed this year. That's okay.
The 6 movies that are tied for a second of my top 8 here: Thor: Love and Thunder, The Northman, Elvis, Banshees, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and Enola Holmes 2.
Okay, Banshees.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We did have one in common.
Yep.
I said we didn't.
And then I also gave Elvis, but it would be lower than I think. So,
yeah. Well, even if you gave it 4 stars, the irony that despite how many likes I gave this year compared to year 2 or whatever it was, or 1, you gave movies in general higher ratings than I did this year.
Because I have 10 4.5-star films this year.
Yeah, and in fairness, that's a pretty rare rating for me.
Yeah,
because we have different systems for what quantifies
so
comparing
subjective.
Arbitrary art. Yes, but what was your biggest film week?
It's funny because I actually have gaps this year. There's 2 weeks I watched nothing.
Same. I have more gaps this year than I did last year.
Wait, 3.
There were definitely instances where this year I went like, well, I don't have time for movies. Or I was just depressed and didn't watch movies.
Same. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of nothing. And then my biggest week is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different weeks in which I did not watch a single movie.
Wow.
So
how
10
do we
weeks.
see? Just scroll over. Let's see.
If you just scroll, eventually you should see the one that's the highest bar. Mine's pretty obvious. Yours might be close, so it might be hard to tell which one's taller. But for me, it's quite clear which is the tallest one.
I've got an 8-film week. The last week I watched movies, which is the week of Christmas, and the week before it. So I watched 17 films in 2 weeks, and it was right at the end.
So what's the biggest single week?
8.
So despite having 10 weeks where I didn't watch it, I have more in 1 week than you did this year.
What's
the week of April 9th through the 15th? I watched 10 films. Of what
10
week
wow
10 movies in that 1 week of April 9th through 5.
December
click on it?
December 10th.
Oh, you can just double tap it and it'll tell you what all the movies are.
Yeah, December 10 through 16 is 7, December 17 to 23, and 24 to 30 are all
That was a
wicked
weird.
high.
By the way, that was a weird week. When I click on it and I look at what the week is,
The spread.
there's no logic behind the like one movie to the other. I was just free, I guess.
So 165 films watched, average per month for you.
So 131 films watch, and average per month was 10 per 9.
13.8.
Gotcha.
3.2 per week.
2.5.
That tracks.
Yeah, it's all for the same. What day do you watch movies the most?
Still Sunday, just like last year.
For me, it's still Friday, just like last year, and that's because
You have a plan.
no, Alexandra's weekend is Thursday and Friday,
And Sunday's the only day people don't email me.
right? Friday is very big movie day here. My least days are like in order: Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday are all kind of the same.
Oh,
So
interesting.
like Monday and Tuesday, my least. I don't watch the least movies those days.
Monday, because I'm here, is my least, and then my next least is Friday. But I think that's because I usually go to the theater on
Right.
Friday.
What's
So I
your-
only watch one versus
If you
2 or
if
something.
you tap on it, it'll tell you how many movies. What's the
16
lowest?
on. Actually, it's 16 is tied Monday and Friday
So 13 films. I've only watched 13 movies on Mondays this whole year.
because we're here for so many
Interesting.
hours.
Oh, that's right too. Every other Monday is
We're
this.
here, and I don't watch anything
That's
after
another
we
reason.
talk about movies.
That's another reason why one
Yeah,
day.
because it's
Monday,
like we're
right.
here for like 7 hours. There's no way I'm gonna like go home
All
and
right.
watch anything.
First and last is so depressing
I
for me, but in a
love
fun
how
way.
funny they do these
Yeah.
different are. First, and I want you to picture this.
So
in your
yours are
mind's eye.
different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to picture this in your mind's eye. The dichotomy of these covers.
Mhm.
First is Harry Potter, the documentary that
Right.
special
oh yeah.
they
Return.
made.
Yeah. Okay. It's
The
Hogwarts.
last is Babylon.
Okay.
It's such a funny image. Look at
bizarre.
these two.
That's bizarre. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
One is literally like nostalgia and like and the other one's like, what if parties?
This will, despite the fact that I think I was in a better position with my mental health in 2022 than I was in 2021. 2021 was real rough for me.
Okay.
Based on the two movies that I have watched in 2023 as first and last, you would think this was the year that I just thought about killing myself. The first movie of the year is one of my favorite movies of all time, American Splendor, all
Okay.
about comic book artist Harvey Pekar.
Okay.
And the last film of the year was Banshees of Inisherin.
Wow. You had a
Just-
year.
That is like
See, at least yours
Schmuck-
correlate.
sad, lonely schmuck of a year.
Man.
I started with a sad, lonely schmuck, and I ended with two sad, lonely schmucks.
2022 is the sad whites. It's just the sad whites being sad.
In one movie, someone loses testicles, and then the other one, they lose something. Spoiler free.
Oh, man.
Um,
Most watched.
that's fun.
That is fun. I like your
Of the
your-
genres, countries, and languages.
No, just most watched. Underneath the two, you got.
I don't have that.
Oh, I've got a row of movies I watched more than once.
Oh, that's because I have.
Oh, you
I-
didn't rewatch
I
them
probably
then.
did not watch a single movie more than once.
Oh,
this
I
year.
got a whole row.
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't. If I watched a movie and I enjoyed it, I specifically go, I can't wait to see that again in a year because it'll all be fresh.
So I present the movies and then I go to premiere. Like I've got work.
You just have to see them more than
Yeah.
once.
So I watched Thor the Batman 3 times.
Thor and the Batman?
Yep.
Mhm.
And then Banshees I watched 3 times, but then I watched it a 4th in January. So
But that doesn't count. That's next year.
That's true. And then Wakanda Forever and Clerks 3 twice.
Got it. Yeah, I did not watch a single movie more than once.
That's crazy.
This year.
All
I
right.
just don't do that.
just don't do it?
I never do
That's how
it.
you have more time for shows.
Probably. I mean, this never changes. Genre, biggest genre of the year,
Mine is shocking considering it's my least favorite genre of late.
horror.
Comedy.
Oh, mine's comedy.
I really struggle to find comedy.
77. Well, the one reason why that's always going to be top.
It's
is
always in a.
it's because
category.
everything is something comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
68 for me.
Wow. That's higher than I only watched. What's that? 9 more comedy.
That
9
is
more
shocking.
comedy
And
movies. than you.
some of your comedies are strictly comedy.
Yes. Yeah.
66 action.
38 action.
Whoa, that drop off.
That's when they all drop.
Wow.
There's your other 30 movies right there.
That's literally action movies. I watched 30 more action movies than you.
And everything else is going to be roughly the same.
That's crazy.
Yep.
44 thrillers.
Thriller's not even. Oh, it is. I only have 20 thrillers. That's all the way down at the bottom of my list.
I like me a thriller. What's your third?
My third one is adventure at 33.
Adventure at 42 is my fourth.
Yeah. My fourth is drama.
I got 42 dramas.
30.
29 fantasy.
Fantasy 20. It's lower down my list though. Above fantasy is both romance at 25 and sci-fi at 23.
I've got no romance.
No mance.
I had a rough year,
You
guys.
had
No
no
mance.
mance.
I don't even see it. I got next down is sci-fi at 27.
Yep.
Crime.
Crime is my second to last at 17.
Crime's my third to last at 25. Family at 20.
Family's the bottom of my list as well at 16.
Well, I might not have had romance, but somehow I had his family. And
There you
then mystery at 17.
Mystery's not on my list at all. So there's only one difference is that you had something I didn't, and I have.
You had romance, I had mystery.
Yep, there
which
it
is
is.
fitting because you're in a relationship, and I'm just saying.
And you're a fucking mystery.
And I'm trying to figure it all out, you guys.
Yeah, countries, obviously USA is at the very top of my list, as I think it's going to be yours.
158.
Yeah, 117. And then it's UK.
UK 25.
And then a bunch of,
they filmed a scene here.
Yes, exactly. English, 131, all of my movies.
I got 165. I have one in another language, which is Telugu. Telugu.
Okay.
Because I watched RRR this year.
Right, yeah, I did not get to that. I was hoping to get that as well, but...
It's a very funny, now, there's a line.
I am more than just a pro. I'm a patron. So I have themes and nanogenres.
Oh, you fancy.
So my most common themes and nanogenres are tied. There's 4 different ones, all tied for 6 films, which are crude humor and satire, which makes sense. Action, villain, humor, and silly, which is 6. Chemistry, hilarious, romantic comedies. And then car action, adrenaline, and driving. And that, I guarantee you, 6 films, all fucking
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you went through your franchises this year.
Oh, we'll get there.
That's going to be fun.
My stats are ruined because of fucking Michael Bay. Because of, spoiler, my I guarantee you, without even looking, has to be my number 1 director of the year. Has to be Michael Bay.
That makes me so happy because it hurts you to such a level.
And then
Breakdown is that next?
Let's see. Yeah, I skip nano genres. Which
you can nano
my
genre
most
if you
nano
feel
genre.
like.
I'll just do the number 1 at 10 films. The top one was romantic comedy, witty and sweet.
Look at you having romance twice.
That's my top nano genre. Breakdown.
Man gets engaged. All of a sudden, he's got all these nano genres.
2022 releases. I watched 19.8% of all my movies were 2022 releases. So
we have the opposite.
So I have 80 movies that were older. 80%, not 80 movies. 80% of all of my movies were older.
So your green is the smaller.
Yes, tiny sliver.
61.8% were 2022.
Right. Well, this is somebody who goes to new releases.
Right, and I work them.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
And that's why I've got multiple viewings of only new releases. So 102 new movies this year. Wow, that's a lot of new movies if you think about it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
61.8.
Considering that I watched 26 movies that came out this
I watched
year.
4 times as many 2022 movies.
I only watched 26 movies. I watched less than 1 new movie every other week.
Oh, you watched exactly 1 new movie every other week? 52 weeks?
Yeah, yep, exactly.
You watched 1 new movie every other week.
And I'm sure that I didn't. I'm sure there was a few where it was like 2 in a day, but yes.
And I watched 102, which means I almost watched 2 movies a week. That's a crazy statistic.
Really
I almost
insane.
watched 2 new movies a week while you watched 1 every other week.
Yep.
4 times. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's because I like old shit, and also we just don't go to the theater a lot anymore. And when something comes out and it's new, it just gets added to our, like, we're not the sort of people who are like, oh, that movie just came out, we gotta watch that movie. Like, there are a few that have been on the list that I still haven't watched. It's insane to me that I still have not watched Clerks 3 yet. Like, that's fucking madness.
Yeah, it really actually is. Because it's on Blu right now.
I know. Listen, somebody was supposed to get it for me for Christmas and they didn't.
Oh, shots fired.
They were going to, and then they remembered too late and it wouldn't have gotten here until New Year.
Oh.
And I would have just said, we'll still get it then.
Yeah, and I love you. Thanks for the New Year's present.
But all I'm saying is I didn't get it.
Ouch.
Anyways, so so I think that's the thing is I'm never in, and we talk about this on the show. This is a real testament to like how you and I are so different about hype.
Yeah.
Is like, you are very much like, this movie's coming out, gonna be a part of it, want to see it, want to see the hype, want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I am like, yeah, movies come out and then movies exist. I will see
Those
movies.
First 4 days are so, like, it's Christmas every week for me.
Yeah, I know. And,
or like 48 weeks for me.
You're filled with joy and wonder, and I'm filled with just apple cider.
I mean, you got romance in your categories. The fact that I always say I'm such an exhibition industry guy and like the movie theater is important, it feels really good to have 102 because I probably saw 98 of those in a theater.
Yeah, but you only paid for half of them.
No, do you know my thing? Haven't I ever told you this?
Oh yeah, that's right. You buy a ticket to another.
Yeah. I always support that shit. Unless like I watch the movie at the premiere and I hate it.
Right.
But like, you know, I vote with my wallet.
Sure.
All right, rewatches.
My rewatches were only 18. I only rewatched 18 movies this year.
Only rewatched 22.
So pretty close.
Pretty
so
comparable.
That's 86% of is mine as new movies.
86.7 is my new movies.
Wait, how is that possible?
Because I watched more movies.
What did you just say? Yeah, but it's percentage based.
13.3.
Oh.
Because I watched 22 movies.
Yes, I'm dumb. Wow. So that is a nearly an identical pie chart.
So we literally watched the same style as far as rewatch to watch. We both watched 86%.
And that
new.
that shows you. Think about that. You've watched 2 new movies every single week.
So you've watched 2 new to you movies every week.
Exactly.
To keep that
I'm
even.
still watching
New
shit
stuff.
that I haven't seen.
It's just from 2021
It's
and older.
just stuff that came out last year or older.
So you do keep up.
Yep. And then of course I just have a big green dot because I review every movie.
I have a big gray dot with a little green sliver. little awareness.
The rating spread. What is your most what's your most
fun.
given rating and what is your least giving rating?
You know what? Can we do what each of them is? Because that's fun.
Sure, whatever you want to do.
Okay, let's go. Let's do like a full scroll through. Okay, how many half stars did you give this year?
I only gave I gave no half stars films this year. Not
I
a single
gave
one.
2.
Wow.
And they were both-
and again, I'm the cynic.
And they were both patron requests. And then, okay, 1 star.
I gave 5 films 1 star.
I gave 1 film 1 star.
What's the
Fucking
movie?
hated it.
If you
Licorice
click
Pizza.
on it. Oh, okay.
Fuck Licorice Pizza.
My 5 1-star movies: Morbius, American Psycho 2. There's your
That's
Patreon. Fast and Furious.
Mhm.
The 355 and Cosmic Sin.
Okay.
All of those. Oh no! When you hit back, you have to click. Oh,
That's why I keep delaying.
And that's all right.
1.5. I gave 3.
That's 1.5 stars you gave. I gave 6 films. I gave twice as many as you did.
Yep.
1.5. See, I'm kinder on shittier movies.
Fair. That's true.
Like I think also this is based on the fact that I have the pass fail system.
Right. And I gave 355 1.5 stars because I probably like Sebastian Stan and certain actors. I'm going to give a little bit more.
See, but for me, yeah, that is just like if it's at all hard to watch, then it's like
1.
Yeah, I get the extra half star for something. That's why like this is hard to my category of 1.5, which we're talking about now, is struggle to get through, but there was a thing in it that I liked for a moment.
And mine is like a D, so
Right,
it's like it's below average, but I could watch it.
What are your 3 that you gave 1.5?
Batman and Robin I rewatched apparently. The 355 and the Disney Pinocchio, the Tom Hanks
Right,
Pinocchio.
Tom Hanks. We didn't see that. Mine was Regards to Broad Street. Another
That was my half star.
Yep. 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Okay.
Scream 4. Seventh Son, the sci-fi movie, the Netflix sci-fi. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, and then Archipelago, that movie with we talked. Did you ever get around to watch that? Yeah.
Well, you reviewed it so lovingly.
Well, yeah. But I still thought it was like, oh
No.
yeah, you're gonna.
And then I've got 7 2-star films.
Now 2-star is the most common bad movie rating for me.
So it's gonna be high.
No, it's just gonna be the most common. It's 12 movies.
Oh, okay, still not super
Actually,
high.
that's not true. So technically, the most common bad movie rating for me is 2.5, which doubles for me.
Okay, so
But-
let's stop reading them all after.
Yeah, of course,
2.
yeah.
So we'll do 2-star. What do you got?
I gave 12 films 2-star, which for me, a 2-star movie is a movie that does not work. It is inherently flawed. The premise does not work, but it's not hard to watch. It's like, it's not unentertaining.
Sure.
It's just bad.
So for me, it's a C-, which means it's just below average. So either there's some inherent logic flaw,
Right.
the acting's bad, like it's almost average,
Right.
and I see why people might like it, but it doesn't work for me.
Right.
That
Would probably be the equivalent of my 2.5, probably. Probably be the equivalent
So
of
to
that.
me, that's exactly average because it's in the middle.
Because for me, just a good movie, if it's just good and it works,
Yeah.
but it's unexceptional, that to me is a 3-star. That's the pass rating in my system.
Oh, see, 3
Yeah.
to me is more good
Right.
than bad because
Right.
of my system.
So let's see, what were your 2 stars?
My 7 2-stars are Amsterdam, Ricky Gervais' Supernature, The
Oh,
Hangover.
you do comedy specials again.
I do.
It's all bullshit.
The Hangover Part 3, Flag Day, Mojave, The King's Man, and Rampage.
Wow, I didn't see any of those movies.
Well, you're not-
I did see Supernature.
You're not missing much.
My 12 2-star movies are The Wedding Date, Scream, Too Fast, Too Furious, The Fast and the
Hurt my
Furious,
soul.
Transformers: The Last Night, Fantastic Beasts: Secret of Dumbledore. There's another new movie, right?
Yeah.
Buddy Moon, Mamma Mia, Doctor Strange and the fucking Terrible of Madness, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, Transformers: Age of Extinction, and then Transformers, the first one.
All right. All right.
Lots of robots.
A lot of
shifting
franchises
around.
in that.
Yeah.
So my 2.5 is 8 films because that's just average. I watched 8 films that I'm like, they're average.
Right. Yeah. So
See, I'm way more positive once we get past this point.
I'm at 20. So that's where I have 24 movies that are 2.5, which to me are movies that didn't work, but have an element to them that I really enjoyed, whether it's a performance, whether it's like in music
Yeah.
or something a little bit stand out from a movie that maybe's plot doesn't work.
I like that.
And then 3 stars, it jumps back down. I gave almost the same amount of movies 2 stars I did 3 stars. So that's the basic pass fail.
Because you have those little increments.
That's just a very basic, like, these movies don't work, but they're fine.
Yeah.
This movie works and it's fine.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so for me, a 3 stars is C+. It's above average, but it's not exceptional.
Right.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. And that's 12 films. So,
well,
they keep going up.
We gave almost the exact same amount of 3-star movies this
but
year,
with different reasons.
despite the fact that our system is so insanely different.
And then 3.5, it leaps to 38.
39, almost
Weird.
identical as again.
4 stars, my highest of the year.
So 3.5 is my highest of the year. And
Okay.
that makes sense because I think that's always going to be my highest.
Above
because
average plus a little
what
spice.
it is it's like, also, like, on average, I tend to watch movies I know I'm going to enjoy. Every now and then I'll watch something that I think is going to be bad, but it's
Right.
the spread is different. It's like for every 9 movies I watch I know I'm going to enjoy, there's 1. So like it's always going to be skewed.
Yeah, I see that.
But for me, the 3.5 is a movie that works. And there's something special about it. It's
Okay.
not, it may not be exceptional, but again, hey, that movie was really good. It works. The story's coherent, and that one performance is great.
Yeah.
Or fuck, the music was so good. Or that scene, that opening scene, like that's where that extra half comes in.
And that's
me.
why it's your most.
Yep, that's why it's my most. Because that's going to be most movies are going to be like, yeah,
Because
that
you're
works.
starting it with a certain awareness.
To me, I think, yeah, that's like my 3.5 is I think what you consider a 3-star movie.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's
and whereas my 4 star is probably you consider a 3.5.
And again,
which is just like it's a good movie, but it's not in the A's. It's
Right.
like a B+. It's like
and I think that's why, like, for your like grade system, like I said this when I first got into Letterboxd, like I could really use like 2 less ratings.
I agree.
I could use like I don't need half star
because you're
and
binary.
I don't need 4.5 star. Do you know what I mean? Like
whereas I'm a school grading
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
Mine literally looks like a bell curve because
Right.
I grade it differently.
yeah.
59 4 star.
Only 21 4-star movies for me. So there you go.
Yep.
That's the big split there.
And then 4.5. I've got a quite a few.
8.
8. Wow. 28.
28 for so come on.
I saw 28 A's. Those are A's to me.
Yeah. All right. I think that's also just those are all new movies. You just want to be nice to the studios, you shill. You corporate
Let me
shill.
see what they even are.
I'm joking.
1 was V for Vendetta. 2 were Banshees of Inisherin.
Wait, 2 like
It counted it as 2.
oh, interesting.
So that's good to know because it's the amount of times you watched it, I guess. So 2 is Top Gun Maverick. Anyway, so
so that is a sort of skewed rating.
yeah, because if I see something twice because I loved it,
yeah, that does seem
which
like
I did.
It seems like I wouldn't have put that in there because it says 21 films, not 21 diary entries.
Right.
You know what I mean?
yeah, it's
But-
interesting. And then my rare 5 star is 7 because I rewatched a bunch.
I only gave 2 movies 5 stars this year.
So I rewatched Everything Everywhere All at Once twice, and then I watched Paddington and Paddington 2 again.
My 2 5 stars are just 2 of my favorite movies that I rewatched.
I watched
this year.
Paddington 2 3 times this year.
That's great.
I
Well, it's 'cause
needed
you showed it-
Paddington
you showed
in my
it to
life. I
people.
showed it to people 3
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, my 5-star movies this year are just 2 rewatches of 2 of my favorite movies, City Slickers and American Splendor.
We just
which I
needed them.
mentioned.
We
Yeah.
needed. I mean, I
Well,
needed Paddington. You needed City Slickers.
City Slickers is the birthday movie,
Yeah.
so it's like it's always going to be on that list.
It's gonna make that 5 star.
And yeah, that's
It's
interesting.
delightful. Okay. I've got 80. I watched 80 of my watch list films and added 125. That's interesting because I kept chasing that dragon.
I watched 68 and added 185.
That's you not going to the movies.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There's your 2 movies a week.
Yeah.
that I added to my watch list and went, I'll get to them.
That's really funny.
That's really funny.
All right, let's get into our stars.
Most watched star this year for me.
Mine is shocking.
So funny.
I did not expect this by any means. My
Okay.
number 1 is Tom Hanks.
That's great.
I didn't.
I love that.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have thought.
I wish
You know who's not in a single Marvel movie? Tom Hanks.
that. I love that. Do you want to take a guess at who my number 1 biggest star is?
You watch so
'Cause
many
it's kinda
franchises.
funny.
We have the opposite in this one. I
I'm
think.
gonna well, again. I've already spoiled. I'm gonna skip ahead. I'm gonna scroll down. Yeah, my most watched director this year is Michael Bay with 5 films.
Shia LaBeouf.
Nope. Why would he's not even in some of those movies?
Vin Diesel because of all the Fast movies. And the
Oh
Guardians.
wait. Okay. Yeah. You know what's funny? All right. Okay. Hang on a second. You're very close.
Okay.
Tyrese Gibson.
Oh, because it's
is
Transformers
in
and Fast and
both
Furious.
Fast and- yeah.
That's I have Tom Hanks while you have Tyrese.
So here's the thing: is Tyrese is my most watched actor and probably one of the worst reviewed. There's
That's
not a
so funny.
There's not a single 3-star movie of the movies
That's
I watched of him this
amazing.
year. But he's in how many movies? Was
6 Tom Hanks.
7. I watched one more Tyrese Gibson than
Did
you
I
did
watch
Tom
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks? Oh, that's good.
My 6. Here are my 7 Tyrese movies: Transformers 1, Transformers 2, Transformers 3, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast 5, Morbius, and getting in there late at the end of the year, The Christmas Chronicles Part 2.
Yours sounds like
Which,
not
by the way, is my
fun.
favorite of his of the bunch.
Yours was a jerk. Okay, what's your second?
Lois Maxwell, who I love to see on this. You know who that is?
No.
That is M in the classic James Bond.
You got your Bond on.
That's
How many of those?
6, tied with Bernard Lee, who of course played Q.
Yep. You would Bond?
And then sneaking back in is the Transformers franchise. In my other tied for second is Peter Cullen, of course, the voice of Optimus Prime.
So I've got tied for second is 5 films with both Bradley Cooper and Chris Pratt. Interesting. I never would have guessed that.
Cooper and Pratt. Look at you.
Cooper and Pratt.
They might as well both be named Chris. Let's be honest.
a couple of, he's a Bradley Chris. And then I hate my number 4 at 4 films. Actually, I've got a ton tied with 4 films. Holy shit.
That's probably the rest of your list there.
The rest of my list is 4 films.
Yep.
Well, the rest of my list, but my number 1, which I wish I could fucking manually move, is the narc himself, Tim Allen. Fucking Tim Allen, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, Ron Perlman, Pat Hingle, because I watched all the Batman movies.
Right.
Michael Gough, because I watched all the Batman movies. Willem Dafoe, Zoe Saldana, Wallace Shawn, J.K. Simmons, Christian Bale, Kevin Michael Richardson, Benedict Cumberbatch, Joan Cusack, Don Rickles, John Ratzenberger, and Laurie Metcalf.
That is such a fun, eclectic
What a
mix.
journey.
Well, what I love about that is that it doesn't sound like they're all from one franchise.
I actually watched
like it's multiple. There's some crossover
80s,
there.
90s franchises, indies.
Mine are franchise definitely. So with 5 films, almost the rest of my movies.
Okay.
So let's see. So that was my top 4 were the ones there. So now I have positions 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So my, 5 to 13 are all 5 films. And it's Courtney Cox, David Arquette,
Screams.
John Turturro,
Transformers.
Desmond Llewellyn, who is also Bond.
Got it.
Jess Harnell, who I don't even recognize, but was in all of the Transformers.
Okay.
Roger Jackson, who is the voice of Ghostface, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So there's 5
Franchises.
Scream movies.
So this shows you watching franchises changes your whole shit.
Nev Campbell.
Yep.
Reno Wilson, who is in all of the Transformers as well. I'm going to guess a voice. Mark Ryan. And that's all of my 5 stars. So yeah.
Wow.
So that whole thing is like Scream, Transformers, James Bond.
Yeah, you literally, because of your watching style,
Yep.
Everything changed.
Yep. And then I have my 4 films for the rest of my categories.
That's crazy.
Which tied for 4. And again, we're running away with franchises here for the most part. Shia LaBeouf,
Yep.
Vin Diesel, Roger Moore, Paul Walker, Jamie Kennedy.
Scream.
Oh, Scream, right? I was like, what the fuck? Right. Matt Schultz. Who's that guy? Matt Schultz. He's in the Fast movies. Oh, he's in 2 Fast movies and 2 Blade movies.
Oh, the crossover. There it is.
And then the one person who I'm not sure. Okay, this person is probably the most scattered, even though 2 of them are the same franchise, is John Cena. Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home 2, and then Bumblebee and The Bubble. So those are my top 20 actors of the year. And again, between the first and the last is only 3 movies.
And my most highly rated does not have any crossover at all.
Oh, really?
No crossover whatsoever. Holy crap.
Right.
All right. My only, I've got 5, 6, 5, 7, 8 5 stars, 9 5 stars. Oh, because they're all in
I don't have any, because they're in like 1 movie or 2 movies that are both like a franchise with like Paddington.
It's all Paddington actors.
Yep. That happens with me with like a 1-2 punch of like an animated movie. Like for example, like How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2. If I watch those 2 movies, those are, in my opinion, both 2 5-star movies. And so the voice actors of those are going to be the highest rated of the year.
I think all of my top 10 are in Paddington 1 and 2. I think it's literally just the cast of Paddington 1 and 2. I was like, why don't I recognize half these?
Amazing.
Oh, wait, they're British thespians of Paddington.
I love that. So I love my top, my whole list here is pretty much mostly tied at 4.2. But let's see. The number 1 and number 2 positions are Tracy Walter,
Okay.
who is an actor who you recognize his face, but you don't know where he's from. He was in City Slickers, which I watched.
Yep.
But then he was also in the Danny DeVito Matilda.
Ah, that's cool crossover.
And which I rated very highly as well.
Yeah.
So he's him and someone named Clifford Einstein, who is Bob Einstein and Albert Brooks's brother.
Okay.
And is in both of the Albert Brooks movies, Defending Your Life and Real Life, which are two movies that I both gave 4.5 stars this year. And then I go to all of my like kind of ties.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista, Catherine Hahn, Seth Rogen, Donald Logue, Michael Birbiglia, Albert Brooks, of course, Ethan Embry. I know you recognize him if you saw him, but these are all like tied at like 4.2 stars, and they're all for different movies. But Glass Onion is a big proponent. Why is Seth Rogen on there? Oh, Long Shot and Chip and Dale.
Ah, two good ones. I love both those movies.
Yeah.
Well, I'll quickly read the cast of Paddington real quick. At 5 stars, Ben Whishaw, Catherine Shepard, Gus Brown, Hugh Bonneville, Imelda Staunton, Jim Broadbent, Julie Walters, Justin Edwards, Madeline Harris, Michael Gambon, Peter Cabaldi, Sally Hawkins, Samuel Jocelyn, Simon Farnaby are all in the top. But then the actual variety comes in with Cillian Murphy, Colin McFarlane, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman. I clearly watched the Batmans.
Yep.
And then Peter Brook, who is in both Casino Royale and The Dark Knight, two of my favorite films.
Yeah.
And then Brendan Gleeson, who is, of course, in not only Banshees, but also Paddington motherfucking 2.
Brendan Gleeson is the only person we have shared. He's on my top with 4.
He's 4.8 for me.
And he's tied with some surprising names. Andy Serkis, Longshot, and The Batman.
That makes sense.
And then there's some names I wouldn't have expected to see on here. Reese Witherspoon, because of that movie that you made me watch. How Do You Know?
Yep.
And the original American Psycho. Andy Samberg is on it, which is really fun. I like to see him. He's there because of Popstar and Chip and Dale.
I like it.
And then obviously a lot of other people, but O'Shea Jackson Jr. snuck in there.
Oh, I love him. He's a talented man.
Because he's in Long Shot.
Yeah.
Which we both loved.
Have you seen Straight Outta Compton yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
But he's also in Godzilla King of the Monsters,
which you really
I gave a 3.5. So yeah, really, that's interesting. I feel like I'm most surprised at the highest rated so far.
Yeah.
Because I think usually, this is also the first year where I didn't watch like more than one Marvel of the old shit.
Right.
Usually
it throws
that category is just dominated by like, you know, fucking Samuel Jackson or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah, Samuel Jackson being in everything really throws everything. My directors, most watch.
Michael Bay, 5 movies.
There, you knew it. You knew it was coming.
There's all Transformers. There's nothing not Transformers. Never not transforming.
I've got 3 tied with 3 movies. I actually watched less of each director this year. Kevin Smith, Joel Schumacher, and Guillermo del Toro. Solid run. I like all 3 of them.
Love that. Yeah, no crossover. Also, by the way, did you get to all 20 or does your list single off?
It singles off.
Mine does too. So I didn't even have 20 dead directors I watched more than 2 movies of.
Mine only is 13. Holy shit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So
okay.
One more, but also 2 of them are Jorma Taccone and Akiva Schaffer, which are a duo. That's the pop star group, and they also did Chip and Dale's. So
I don't have any Russos this year because again I didn't rewatch either.
Oh, Russo lists.
I've got the rest are all tied at 2 films.
Yeah, most of mine are all 2s. The only people who aren't 2s are oh god, Michael Bay 5, Wes Craven 4, Guy Hamilton, who snuck in there with 3 Bond movies of the Moore era.
Yeah.
Justin Lin snuck in there for some fast shit.
Yep.
Sean Anders, comedy guy who did Daddy's Home.
Oh yeah.
And Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
Bookstore, is that Bookstore ground?
Bookstore, he's just chilling, eyeballing me.
And then and then we're in all my 2s, which has people like Sam Raimi, Martin McDonagh, Terry Gilliam.
Nice.
Because I watched Time Bandits and Brothers Grimm. The 2 I mentioned previously, and who else? Jeff Tremaine is on there for the Jackass movies.
Save.
Oh wait, so we had 2 crossovers.
So I've only got the rest of mine are 2s, and I'm actually really happy with them. It's Colin Trevorrow, Joseph Kaczynski, Steven Spielberg, Paul King, Scott Derrickson, Jeff Tremaine, Tim Burton, John Lasseter, Nolan, and Kat Quaro.
I am so shocked that Spielberg. This is probably like the first year where I didn't really watch any Spielberg movies for the whole year. I don't think I watched a single Spielberg movie this year.
Dude, his two most recent are two of my favorites ever. The Fabelmans and West Side Story are like...
Oh, I did watch West Side Story, but that's the only movie I watched of his because or else he would have been on the list.
But yeah, The Fabelmans and West Side are two of my favorites Spielberg's, period, and that's saying something.
Who's your highest rated director of the year?
This is where it gets spicy.
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's always going to be kind of the same when you're doing some rewatches. So I can tell you right now, my first two are just tied with one movie. They're co-directors of American Splendor again.
I've got 4 or 5-star directors, but one of them is a duo. I've got Paul King, because I watched Paddington. Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, because they're the Daniels who made Everything Everywhere at 5 stars. And then John Watts, because I gave 5 stars to No Way Home and rewatched it. And I didn't watch anything else of his.
Right.
And then at 4.8, Christopher Nolan. At 4.5, I've got John Lasseter, Matt Reeves, Martin McDonagh, Lee Unkrich, and Gore Verbinski tied.
Yeah, I have mostly 4.0s tied across the board with the exception of my top 5 here. And again, people, it's the people, all of these people have one movie that I watched that was 5 stars.
Right.
So they're at the top.
Yeah.
But then you have people who I got 4.5s with more than one. People like Albert Brooks, Ryan Johnson, that's only one movie though. Steven Spielberg, even though I only watched the one, he got in there with the rating. Andrew Dominic, who did The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford, which I fucking love.
I love that film.
Jonathan Levine got in there for Long Shot. He highly noticed this year. And then it's a bunch of tie. Oh, Lynn Shelton also snuck in there for Your Sister Sister, which is one of my favorite movies. And then Martin McDonagh, Taika, Edgars, Baz Luhrmann, Danny DeVito is in there. I
got a first-time director. So 4.5 is obviously my most common because I watched a lot of that genre, but I've got Michael Giacchino because of Werewolf by Night.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that.
Martin Campbell's on here.
Wasn't long enough. It's not a movie.
Alex Proyas is on here.
It's got to hit 60 minutes.
Brian Hegelin for Knight's Tale I rewatched. But yeah, good diverse list of lots of different types of talent.
It is interesting that a lot of my highest rated directors are it's split between. I do like that mine is actually as a new movie, old movie split. Because usually, even though the top is just old movies that I've rewatched that I gave 5 stars to, the bottom of the list, the ones that are all tied for 4, Taika's on there only because the only movie I watched this year was Love and Thunder. But then right next to him, you've got Danny DeVito because I watched his Matilda.
Sure.
Robert Edgars for The Northman. Mary Harron for American Psycho. I like that there's a big split back and forth. Also, Bob's Burgers movies snuck in there with a bunch of their performers.
I only reviewed 6 things, but my most liked is Clerks 3 because I reviewed it right after the premiere. And I rarely do that after a premiere, so that was smart. I should do that more.
Do you not get the Cruise in Studios, or did you?
Oh, I didn't know if we usually did that.
I was just curious, who's the highest producer you watched?
Louis D'Esposito.
Interesting. So I said I didn't watch a lot of Spielberg movies this year. That's only as a director. Because I did watch 7 produced movies of Spielberg.
11 for D'Esposito. I watched 5 David S. Goyer movies. I don't know how I feel about that. I watched all the Blades this year and Batman Begins, Dark Knight.
There it is. My writers, of course, Ian Fleming at the top of the list. All the Bonds. Oh, this is fun. And
Kevin Smith made the cut for editor and writer.
There you go. What about at the very bottom? Studios. I always like studios.
Oh, studios is fun.
Who dominated your year? Number 1.
Number 1, Warner Brothers.
Universal Pictures dominated. How many Warner Brothers movies did you watch?
16 Warner Brothers films.
I watched 12 Universal. That's my most.
I got 12 Universal.
My most liked review. What you said yours was?
Yeah, Clerks 3.
This one is going to make everybody happy. I love it. My most liked review. The Death of Superman Lives. What happened?
I got to acknowledge this. Okay, Warner Brothers is not only number 1 at 16. Marvel's not till 3 at 11, but Universal's 12, Paramount 9. So I did not dominate Disney this year.
No.
That feels good. Because people are always yelling shill at me.
Yeah. Do you have the highest lows? The highs and lows?
Highs and lows.
Highest rated, lowest average.
Of crew and studio?
No. Just that little thing. It says the most.
Oh, highs and lows, the posters. Yep.
Yeah.
Highs, highest average,
Banshees?
The Dark Knight.
Oh.
Wait, I wonder why.
Because so that is the highest average, which means that's the movie that you watched that has the highest average across all Letterboxd users. So that is arguably the movie that Letterboxd viewers think is the best movie
of the movies I watched.
You watched.
That's cool.
For me, it was Banshees.
So
and the lowest,
American Psycho 2.
Really? Mine was Cosmic Sin. One of those.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Which by the way, the overall Letterboxd review is 1.1. What is Dark Knight?
Dark Knight is 4.4.
So Banshees is only at a 4.1.
Okay. Because Dark Knight's revered.
Yep.
Universally. Most popular.
The Batman.
At
4.1.
Most obscure.
A documentary featuring some comedy buddies of mine called I Need You to Kill.
I watched Give My Regards to Broad Street.
Oh, wow. So this one's more obscure than that.
My lowest average and most obscure are the two patron ones of like a few months back.
That's funny. And mine are not. Which shows you the difference. Which shows
you watch more deep cut than even the patrons. I respect that.
And then there's just the list of movies you watch this year.
Which is stacked.
Yeah.
What a year.
And I think that's it. Oh, highly rated films you're yet to see.
Ooh.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I do.
So obviously Everything Everywhere All at Once is on that list. Also something called National Theater Live, Prima Facie.
I've got some weird ones. Like, I don't know how they got in my radar.
It's just, it's not in your radar. It's that these are just highly rated movies. Are you saying you're not sure how you haven't heard of them?
No, how these films are like.
These are movies
picked.
that Letterboxd has that are really high rated that you did not log this year. For example, it's sort of like the most popular thing you did watch is Dark Knight. But this is just for 2022 stuff you didn't watch.
I've got a documentary called National Theater Live, Prima Facie.
That's what I just said. Yeah, that's my number one. That's my very first one. And then I have Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then I have a Gerard Carmichael's Nathaniel,
that's my number two.
Which I did watch.
But you don't log it.
Yeah, I did actually watch that.
Directed by Bo Burnham.
After Sun. Yep, I know.
After Sun's my 3.
Haven't seen that one yet. Haven't seen Mars 1 yet.
I wasn't aware of Mars 1 until
haven't seen Puss in Boots. Everybody says it's great.
It's incredible, I hear. It's my number 5 as well.
I did not see the Inside Outtakes.
I did, but I didn't log it because I didn't consider outtakes.
Yeah, well,
but maybe I should.
We all have our new standings. And then Burning Days.
Burning Days in 1985.
I haven't heard of that either.
All right.
I think that's, there you have it.
That's everything, you lovelies.
Man, that's fun.
I love Stats Day.
I think, so overall, let's take stats at a glance.
Stats at a glance.
The biggest difference, you watch so many more new movies.
Way more new movies. But you keep up by watching movies a year old at pace.
Or not even a year, just...
Sorry, a year old and older at pace.
I am catching up at the same speed that you are staying current.
Right.
Which means that eventually...
It'll balance out.
Eventually it'll get to a point where if somebody says, did you see that movie that came out before 2001? You're going to go, no, definitely not.
Probably.
And I'm going to go, yes. And they're going to say, Jake, did you see that movie that came out last year? And I'm going to go, no.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I think from the 90s on, I'm pretty solid. But from the 70s and earlier, I'm not.
Yeah. Or not even necessarily that, because I think it's also not necessarily the years, but the genres. Because I'm watching a lot more of the indies. I'm watching. Right. You wouldn't have watched something like Ride the Eagle if it wasn't for me.
But I am now.
Yeah, those sort of movies. I think we're just drawn to a different. You are so ingrained in the big blockbuster hype culture.
Yeah.
That's so much a part of you. And I see a commercial for a new movie and I go, okay. And I don't think it looks bad. I'm not saying that I'm cynical about it. I'm just saying another movie.
I like the conversation as much as the movie. And I don't have that to scale with anything older than the last 10 years.
Of course. Yeah.
So the conversation is as much a reason to watch it as the movie itself. Because it's much like in life. I don't experience things unless I'm sharing it.
Right.
So
that was really fun.
So many movies.
So we know who our most watched, highest rated are, but we don't know who our most unpunchable is.
So we got to find out who's getting unpunched.
It is that time of the month, the 18th.
Yeah.
So listen, we pre-apologize that you're not going to have a very long status, but it's retroactive.
Oh, yeah.
You have been
January unpunchable.
Regardless.
At the end, when we look back on 2022, you started this. 2023, we'll know it was you.
If you're listening to this and you're going, what the fuck are they talking about? Then, my dear friend, you should head on over to patreon.com/koicast and consider becoming a patron of this show. Not only do you get access to the patron-only pod in which Koi and I discuss the art we have enjoyed or not enjoyed for the entire year.
Want to hear me talk shit? It's where it happens.
You get access to that. You also, depending on what level of patronage you are, get entries, sometimes multiple, into the monthly contest to be named the Unpunchable Gift Horse of the Month. When you are named that, you get to pick a movie for us to watch. We recently watched 2 picks that we were a little bit behind on. We watched something selected by Gilbert Short called While You Were Sleeping, as well as, I believe it was Dugers.
Yep. Pottersville.
Who's picked Pottersville, which was filmed in his hometown, which, by the way, your hometown looks gorgeous.
Stunning.
And we're talking all about that on this week's Patron Only Pod. So yeah, you get to pick something for us to watch, and more importantly, you get some swag. You get an item of you're choosing a free T-shirt specifically from the shop over at dragonwagonshop.com. You don't have to get a KoiCast shirt. You can get a Dragon Wagon shirt. You can get a shirt from a different show. You can get a shirt that's just one of the original Dragon Wagon designs. And it's all just our way to give back and to say thank you so much for supporting our little independent podcast.
And if it's KoiCast, I'll retweet it because I like seeing that stuff in the wild.
Without further ado, let's get on with it. What do you say?
Let's see who we got.
I am spinning the wheel.
Ooh,
and the unpunchable gift horse of the month for the month of January is Robin West Parker.
Robin West Parker kicking off 2023, doing the work. I got to see Robin a few weeks ago, and it was fantastic.
Congrats to you, Robin. Thanks so much for your continued support, for being such a gracious friend of the pod. Keep an eye out for an email on how to claim your victory. And of course, you will be bestowed the title of Unpunchable Gift Horse in the Discord, which, by the way, if you're not in the Discord and you enjoy this show and the community around it, I really suggest you get on in there. It's completely free, has nothing to do with Patreon. You can find the link for it over at koicast.com, and it is a great place to hang out, talk about all sorts of stuff. There are individual threads in the Discord for every single show. So there's a KoiCast specific one, but then there's also just a thread about movies, TV shows, literature, music, games, anything you want to chat about. And it's a really great community with a lot of really great people.
I was in there a bunch over the break, and people were confused. It was fun to hang out. I like kicking off this year with Robin. That feels good. I like 2023. Good juju, Robin. Make sure lead the way. Make sure it's a good year. I'm putting it on you. You're responsible. That is going to do it for this week's stats-heavy episode of KoiCast. If this is your first time hearing the show, because I shouted it out a bunch at the end of last year, weird times, it is usually a show where we go over the news one week and hotline stuff the next week. We're going to be coming back with a more standard next week show, and then I will probably talk next week or the week thereafter about some changes coming to 2023 KoiCast. This week was all about them sweet, sexy stats. Please do rate and review over on Apple Podcasts. That's how our sweet and sexy stats get better. You can also rate over on Spotify now, which is rad. We did get one new review over the break, which was very, very kind.
We did?
We did. I got an email.
Oh, wait, you got an email?
Because I do that.
You got a notification?
From Chartable.
Got it.
But yeah. I didn't pull it up, though.
Was it from the States? Well, why don't you do this, and I'll pull it up, and then we can read it when you're done.
Okay, cool. And then we also love those stats going up because that alerts more people to what we do over here. So do that on the Spotify and the Apple Podcast. You can check out koicast.com for merch because we got shirts, we got mugs, we got masks, we got everything you need over at koicast.com.
Hey, you know what else we're going to have pretty soon?
What do we got?
Hats. Still trying to figure out the design.
I want a hat.
Still trying to figure out the design. Okay. We can't put this fantastic drawing
too ornate
that our friend Katie made of you.
Okay.
Because too much detail for it to be embroidered.
That makes sense.
We may just go with just the title of KoiCast, but not sure how appealing that is.
I mean, that's tricky.
I'm working on what's going to be the right design, but yeah, we're working on hats right now.
We got schemes. That's exciting. So yeah, check that out over at koicast.com. Also, you can join the Patreon from there. As Jake was saying, we review all sorts of stuff every week, and we got a whole glut of stuff to come at you the next couple weeks from the holiday. Check us out on social media. Use hashtag KoiCast to get our attention. I'm at KoiJandro. He's at Jake Lloyd Bacon. And as ever, if you want to be the co-host for our Hot and Hotline Heavy Weeks, call us at 818-794-0722. That's 818-794-0722. Or you can send a voice memo to contact@koicast.com. Did I vamp enough? Did you get it?
Oh, I got it. We got quite a few. And in fact, we have one that they're not happy.
Bring it.
It's all my fault. We have quite a few. I'm trying to think of the last time that I saw some of these.
Do you want to start next week with all these reviews? You want to do it now?
No. Let's do a few right now.
All right.
We'll read this one out because maybe they're still turning in. But also, the name of this person is Man of Tomorrow.
I like it.
So they might just not like that I don't like Zack Snyder's Superman. That's my guess. They are done listening because of me.
Oh no, we lost someone.
I ruined your popularity, Koi.
No.
3 stars for Koi, who generally seems like an awesome dude for his love of comics. But I can't listen to Jake anymore. His pessimism and lack of excitement and energy just seems to drain conversations. I will continue to seek out Koi's opinions. Jake seems like a good guy overall, but I can't get enjoyment out of his takes on these topics anymore. Well, I am sorry, Man of Tomorrow. I will say this. Energy does not seem accurate.
I don't see
whatsoever.
that. I don't think that's true. He's very vitriolic.
Also,
when he's
I'm
angry.
incredibly excited.
I mean, come on.
About my opinion of bad movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you're vitrolic, it's energetically, not apathetically.
Well, I hope that you come back, man, tomorrow. I'll send you I don't know, a pie,
A shout out.
a pie.
You just did it.
All right, here we go. 5 stars. Can't get enough, but Koi does need to rest.
I like that. Thank you for both wanting more and accepting I need rest.
This one comes from SarahCast13. KoiCast has been part of my Wednesdays for about 2 years now, and listening to them is always a treat. Jake and Troy? I've replaced you.
Oh,
Jake
what
and
happened
Koi.
to Troy?
It's because the next word is truly.
Oh, I see.
Jake and Koi truly love comics and pop culture and have cultivated an amazing community with their interactive hotline calls. They're some of the nicest, realest dudes in this pop culture space, using a platform to spread love towards art. I can't express how much I love this show. That is such a great review. That one,
I love that so much.
That one came in on the 4th.
That's a great way to start the year.
And then, not to be outbeat. Oh, wait a minute. West Coast Spidey. I think this is Robin.
Yeah,
That's Robin.
it is.
Robin updated his just a couple days ago. So
All
again,
right.
if you have left reviews in the past, you can always update them. This one
Have
is
we gotten better? Worse? Find out.
5 stars, 3 years strong. Koi and Jake have created such a unique space in the overcrowded pop culture talk sphere. Hotline games from listeners, a lovely Discord, some light real world talk, pop culture news, and of course, honest movie discussions. These guys do it all. You couldn't have 2 more opposite people on paper, but the way Koi and Jake are always able to have fun, deep discussions without it turning toxic is their superpower, and offers listeners a range of perspective. Here's to many more years of KoiCast. Thanks so much. Yeah, I do believe that's Robin. That has to be. Unless,
that is.
What are the odds, right?
I mean, I think it's Robin. We talked on Twitter, and it would be a weird thing to have two
you know
the
what?
same name.
I do want to say, though, if there's anything that this episode and episodes like this, where we talk about our habits, I don't think that we couldn't have 2 more opposite people on paper.
Oh, no.
I do think our Venn diagram, while not nearly a circle,
Sure.
is definitely not a double O. It's, you know what I mean? Like there's a, I think there's
M,
a big,
there's a hump, there's
yeah,
a center.
there's a big chunk of that center.
Yeah,
there.
I agree.
But thank you so much for all of those reviews. It's so nice to see some new reviews. And again, sorry if you are listening, sorry that you think I'm a mean, cranky old man.
I mean, come on now.
Listen, Jake is gonna Jake.
I like that we started that year with some reviews. That was fun.
That was great.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode, you lovelies. We're going to do a hot and hotline heavy coming at you next week, or news next week. We're going to talk about who knows what's coming next week.
I just shot him a look like, are you sure?
Well, because I'm thinking the news, we'll talk. We'll figure this is behind the scenes. This is what happens between episodes. And I have to pee, so I'm not thinking clearly. I will talk to you all soon. Jake will talk to you all soon. We'll be in that Discord. You guys are the best. Thank you for understanding that we need a little bit of a break and that we came back to you when we could. And I hope your holiday was bitchin', and I hope you don't get an ear infection because they suck and they can get worse and then you can die. But I didn't. I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Much love. Bye.
Hi, this is Wingman Steve.
Hi, this is Lily.
And you should listen to High School Never Ends, which is a podcast about
Pop punk music.
You might hear me and Lily talk about some of our favorite bands like
Think 82 and Yellow Card.
Tune in every other Thursday. Follow us on social media at HSNEPod. And don't just do it for me.
Do it for Lily.
It's Dragon Wagon.